How's it going, everyone? So like a lot of you, I'm sure I've been bumping the Silk Sonic album quite a bit. I mean, the combination of Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak is just A1.
Yes, Lord!
So for that reason, today I want to redesign the album art. And it's not that I don't like the original art, I just think there's a lot of potential with the art direction they used for the photo shoot. So I think there's opportunity there to take a different approach. So I really like the kind of 70s R&B soul funk stuff they used in the music, and I wanted to bring some of that into the album art, but with a twist. So my idea is to create a Japanese style record cover. If you haven't seen how those look, I think they're really dope. They look like this, and I've always really loved how they package things over there. So I think it'd be cool to combine a 70s style album art with this Japanese vinyl record cover. So with that being said, let's get over to Photoshop and get into it. I was actually doing some research, gathering some fonts and a few images I wanted to use, and I found something that I really liked, so I'm going to pull that in now. It's this image right here, and I actually know I want to use this as kind of like a full bleed. I think it'll look really dope, but do some kind of halftone effects and things, and then pull in some of the colors from the original album art to kind of keep some of that existing style there. So what I want to do is, I feel like if I size this all the way up, their heads are obviously going to get cropped. So I think I'm going to need two versions of this. First one, I'm going to bring in to right about there. And then what we'll do is duplicate it. And then I'll bring the other one over, something like that. And we'll kind of see if that overlaps all right. So see, that's still kind of in the way. Gonna need to move that over a little bit, something like that. And then what we'll do is actually mask out this one, so both our heads fit in there nice. Let's see if we can get that. Use the soft brush just to give it that glow, but also make sure we're not creating any hard edges. I think this can kind of go over it like that. I need to go in a little bit and finesse it. Now what we're gonna do is group these two, duplicate it, and I'm gonna convert this to a smart object and start messing with the filter gallery and do some halftone effects. Usually I do Ink Lab and a few other things like for this, but I want to start not using plugins or things like that as much in videos. That way anyone can easily follow along, and the Patreon source files are a lot more seamless and easy to mess around in. So now that I'm here, I got to figure out the right setup. I'm thinking 4 for the size will be good, and I'm sure 15 will work. Let's see how that looks. Maybe 17, a little bit more. Yeah, so I'm liking that because we still have enough detail, but we still have enough like stylistic stuff to kind of give it that nice look. So that's where we're at right now. And so obviously this is black and white, and it's not really giving us that vibe that we want from like that 70s style. So I want to bring in some colors from the original album art as kind of a gradient map to help colorize some of the highlights, the midtones, and the shadows. So we have this here. I'm gonna size that down just as reference, put it in the corner. Let's get my gradient map. I think there's one I can start with that will help. I think this one will be a good start. We need to change up our colors. So for our dark points, let's bring in that brown, probably even darker, something like that. Right here, we can use that brown. And see, I'm basically just selecting the colors from each of these things. For our light ends, we want this, something like that. Maybe even lighter, like a white almost. And then we'll use that for our midtones, that kind of brownish. All right, something like that is looking pretty good. Let me mess with it a little bit more. So here's the final kind of gradient map. It's looking pretty good. I had to kind of adjust some of the sliders a little bit in the colors, but I'm liking where we're at. If you saw in the Japanese covers, they usually have a label somewhere on the side like that, and I definitely want to include that. So I need to make sure I have enough clearance right there. And I think that'll be okay. I wonder if I can do a content aware fill at the top and give us a little bit more room. Did kind of work. It's pretty wonky though, the hat right there, but maybe if we use our type up there, it'll help us kind of blend that in. But I think I want to use something like Futura or one of those older kind of rounded sans serifs. I need to create some guides. What I like to do is go up here, new guide layout, and then create my margins like that. I think 75 will be good. There we go. Let's make that a little bit smaller. All right, now it's an evening width, so I want to have that up at the top. All right, I think I want to combine that kind of serif look they had though. I did like that, but maybe some kind of script. We'll see. Yeah. Let's get that sized where we need it. Maybe we need to put some kind of background right there. Maybe like a rounded rectangle or something. Yeah, this might be cool. Maybe you want to put a stroke on this to kind of go over that O right there. Let's do 6, and then what we'll do is go in a little bit right there. And we'll fill that brown space in. All right, now we want to use this left area to kind of get in our Japanese stuff. So I got some cool fonts from this site. Shout out Made by Motel for putting me onto this one. It's just called Free Japanese Font, and it helps you select fonts that will actually work with the characters when you do translations. So we're gonna need to start with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and translate some of the words I'm gonna need, and we'll get back into the album art. So I really like this Della Gothic. I feel like it was super bold and it helps with the vertical type. We're gonna use that for, this is Anderson .Paak's name right here. Let's mess with the tracking a little bit. So Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. So I wanna put both their names vertical, line it up like that. I wanna get the Atlantic Records label in there as well. We'll resize it. Yeah, that'll work. So it's Atlantic and Aftermath. So let's grab the logo for that. Gonna have to open up this one in Illustrator. Grab this logo. All right, let's get this messy thing resized and in place. That should be good. Move it down a little bit. I think somewhere in this place, I want to use the side 1 and side 2 like track list stuff. And I think right here I want to throw a little 33 RPM sticker. Alright, liking that. If we move all this up, we're going to put the image right around here up in this square, and then we'll put our track list down here to kind of fill that space. And our square can fit in there. So in this, I think I want to use another image from the photo shoot and give it a similar effect like this. And then we got to give it that halftone. All right, that should work right there. And then we want to do the track list right here. I think this one we will do all caps, medium. I want to do these in this font and then the actual tracks in the Japanese font. All right, there we go. Now we'll do the vertical track list within these kind of frames that we created. Vertical type, Noto, serif, regular. All right, I'm gonna go translate some of the track lists so I can input that in.
3 hours later.
All right, I got the first side in. I had to do the translations and kind of line up the vertical type. So we're moving along there. Then we just got to get the other side in. All right, so we got the layout done. I'm gonna get this over into one of my favorite album art mock-ups, and I think it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So this is the same textured album art mock-up I like using. I used it for my Black Note series, and it turned out really well. So here's the final design. Pretty happy with how it turned out. I liked how the texture worked with this album art, and I really liked messing with the different Japanese characters and fonts. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and hit that notification bell if you want to be alerted when future videos drop.